Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, me and group members will present about analysis of Fcpo product. So before that, let me introduce my name and group members. My name is Mufitrah binti Muhammad Jamil, nama matrik 2020987471, and my group members is Nur Nazirah Balkis binti Muhammad Aliman, Siti Akirah binti Pandi, and Nur Syafiqah binti Awang Ali Hassan. So, in this video, we will explain about introduction of derivative and Fcpo. Next, we will explain how to invest in Fcpo, and then the analysis of Fcpo product, analysis of risk Fcpo, and the conclusion. So, firstly, let me explain about derivative. Okay, what is derivative? Derivative are financial instruments used to manage one's exposure to an uncertain market today. And for the value of the derivative product, it depends on the value obtained from the underlying commodities, interest rates, index, or stocks. That means all derivative products in Malaysia are regulated and traded on Bursa Malaysia Derivative Berhad, which is a subsidiary of Bursa Malaysia Berhad. Next, what are derivative or future products that exist in Malaysia? Alright, for your information, there are several of future products that exist in Malaysia. Among them are crude palm oil future, Fcpo, palm oil future, FPOL, USD crude palm oil future, FUPO, and others. But in this task, we want to peel about Fcpo product. Next, in this slide, I want to explain with you guys about crude palm oil future, Fcpo. Okay, Fcpo is a contract in Ringgit Malaysia that is traded on Bursa Malaysia Derivative, as well as providing market participants with a global price benchmark for the CPO market. For your information, Fcpo stands for a type of investment based on the crude palm oil commodity. Okay, beside that, the most importantly, what we need to know is Fcpo is a Sharia compliant contract. We have referred the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) a rule that crude palm oil future (FCPO) contract are permissible as they are in line with Sharia principles. Okay, if you guys can see on this side, I have put the features of Fcpo that we need to know. Okay, firstly, the contract size. Each of Fcpo contract is equivalent to 25 metric ton. Second, the solution methodology is physical surrender. And then the maturity date is on the 15 days of the current month. Okay, I think that's all my presentation on introduction of derivative and Fcpo. Next, I will pass it to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nazirah Balkis binti Muhammad Aliman. Next, I will present about how to invest in Fcpo. Of all, buying and selling future contract is essentially the same as buying or selling a number of units of a stock from the cash market but without taking immediate delivery. There are 4 steps how to invest or buying future contract. Firstly, have a trading account. It is prerequisite for trading. Next is arrange for managing money, which is a percentage of the contract's total value. It helps reduce the risk that the exchange undertakes and helps in maintaining the integrity of the market. After that, place an order with trader. Your order must specify the size of the contract, the number of contract you want, and the expiration date. Once you do this, hand over the margin money to the broker, who will then get in touch with the exchange. The exchange will find you a seller if you are a buyer, or a buyer if you are a seller. That's all for me. We'll continue to the next presenter.
Next, me and Nazira want to explain about analysis of Fcpo performance. Okay, as you guys can see, The graph has shown that in 2017, it decreased due to biology effects after experiencing increased yields. In addition, it's because uncertain weather conditions also affect the harvesting and yielding work, and it declined by 4.1% from 17.89 ton hectare. Next, in 2018, palm oil products are traded at low price. The CPO price traded lower by an average of Rm2,233 per ton compared to Rm2,783 per ton in 2017. This is due to the high supply of palm oil stocks due to the low demand for palm oil exports. Okay, next will be continued by
Next, I will explain analysis performance of Fcpo in 2019, 2020 and 2021. In 2019, issue of palm oil price in Malaysia has become a focus due to the sharp fall in price. According to Malaysia Palm Oil Board, MPOB, the CPO price based on 4 January 2019 is at Rm2,025.55 ton. The price is very far compared to January 2018, which recorded Rm2,086.50. There is no doubt that global market volatility is also important in contributing to the fluctuation in the performance of the palm oil commodity sector in the country. MPOB Director General explained that there were several factors that contributed to the decline in palm oil price. Firstly, the high stock of palm oil exceeded the level of 2 million tonnes in the local market, apart from the fall in the price of substitute goods such as soybean oil. Second is Malaysia has to compete with Indonesia in promoting palm oil to China and Pakistan. This is because both countries import more palm oil from Indonesia, which in turn has a lasting negative impact on Malaysia's export performance. Next, as we know, in 2020, there has been an outbreak of COVID-19 which has spread all over the world, including in Malaysia. The effect of this epidemic which resulted in the closure of several economic sectors around the world. Due to the closure, Fcpo on Bursa Malaysia Derivative BMD also closed lower on due to the concern over COVID-19 contagion would reduce demand for edible oil, especially in China. Hence, concern over the impact of COVID-19 resulted in lower demand for palm oil China, apart from import restriction by India. At the close, Fcpo for February 2020 fell RM291 to RM2,640 a metric ton. Then in March, decreased RM293 to RM2,616 per metric ton, and April decreased RM287 to RM2,575 per metric ton, and moreover, May 2020 fell RM281 to RM2,531 per metric ton. And lastly, Fcpo for November 2020 increased 37 to RM3,390 per ton. And then December increased 67 to RM3,307 per ton. For 2021, Fcpo started the year off to a good start, rising 7% in the first week of January, based on data showing the stockpile will fall to a 13-year low in December. But Fcpo was on a downward trend following sluggish demand data for the first half of January and track concern over the decision by the Malaysian government to keep the February export tax rate at 8%. The market bounced back, supported by a surge in export over the first 10 days of February, and tracked the rise in price of other vegetable oils. The Fcpo moved higher, driven by strength in the oil market of other competitors, especially United States soybean oil, following concern over supply in South America. Next, the Fcpo reversed all gains in the previous session following a drop in United States soybean oil price due to profit-taking activities. Bursa Malaysia crude palm oil future price rose 500 ringgit a ton for the first time on October 5, 2021, after the commodity traded at 162 ringgit before its gains threatened. CPO in October 2021 ended at 4,975 ringgit per ton after trading between 4,850 ringgit and 5,000 ringgit per ton. According to the report, CPO future contract on Bursa Malaysia Derivative BND closed at a record high on October 5, 2021 after being driven by limited supply and strong demand from China. Lastly, increased demand from China, which is in an energy supply crisis, can increase the consumption of palm oil for biofuel. At the close, the Fcpo for October 2021 strengthened by 137 to 4,975 ringgit per ton, and November rose 163 ringgit to 4,855 per ton. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shafika. In my turn, I will focusing on risk to the world Fcpo prices fundamentals. The first one is fluctuation in world crude oil prices. CPO is used for biodiesel production. Risk that can occur when world Fcpo base prices comply due to declining crude oil prices. The world crude oil price factor has a big impact on the price of CPO as it is used for the production of biodiesel oil. The higher the crude oil price, the more SPO, the price follows the same trend. This is related to the purpose of CPO contract on Bursa Malaysia Derivative Risk Management, that plantation companies, refineries, exporters, and manufacturers can use FCPOs to manage risk and hedge against the risk of unfavorable price movement in the physical market. Okay, the next is demand factors from consumers around the world. CPO prices are heavily influenced by demand from the world population. The increasing world population is boosting the use of palm oil through increase from demand, production of electrochemical products, and the use of biofuels as an alternative to petroleum source for fuel. The risk that I want to mention here is that we already know that the demand from oil palm for foreign countries is always increasing and rarely decreasing. But how is Malaysia respond to meet the needs of this market? If you guys want to know, the oil palm industry in Malaysia has lost as much 10 billion in July 2021. This is because there are many factors, and among them is the consequences of this COVID-19 pandemic. In this regard, the ministry will focus on the development of palm machinery, especially for oil palm harvesting and transportation on farm to increase labor productivity and operational efficiency. In addition, Malaysia still has problems related to the lack of new land for oil palm cultivation in Malaysia. This has increased the growth rate of palm oil production in recent years and in the long run. That's all from me. I give to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Akirah binti Pandi and I will describe the third Fcpo risk, which is the risk of falling crude palm oil price is due to climate change. Oil palm productivity is significantly affected by climate change effect resulting in extreme weather condition, including prolonged drought period, El Nino and flood. The El Nino weather patterns in 2015 until early 2016 in Southeast Asia causes significant palm oil yield losses due to adverse impact on reproductive process. These include lower female flowering rates and reduced fresh fruit bunch FFB size and wing. The oil palm FFB yield in the Peninsula Malaysia and Sabah decreased by about 20% due to the 1997 to 1998 El Nino, where rainfall of less than 100 millimeters for more than 2 months can greatly affect the yield. Abiotic stress may affect fruit development and post-harvest quality of oil palm fruit, and this is of important in terms economic value to the industry. Prolonged hot and dry weather affect the key physiological stage relating to inflorescence abortion and sex determination, which has a lag period of 9 until 11 and 22 until 23 months before FFB is harvested, respectively. As a consequence, the effect of a strong El Nino can be seen only 9 to 24 months after the event. Meanwhile, La Nina event CPO production is affected due to the disruption in harvested and FFB collection during causes by floods. As the water level subsides, FFB harvesting and collection will resume. On top of that, heavy rainfall could also affect the fruit bunch development. Poor pollination of anthesis female flowers by pollinating weevils during heavy rainfall contributes to lower fruit sets and bunch wing. In the extreme case, if the palms are submerged for more than 3 months, there is high chance of the palm, particularly young palms, to die. Therefore, it is important to planters to have a good water management system to reduce the impact of climate variability on the oil palm industry and reduce the shock arising from this event impact on CPO prices that could consequently affect Malaysia GDP, as a palm oil is one of the major contributor to government revenue. Malaysian palm oil plantations are currently experiencing an urgent need for foreign labour due to the shortage of about 75,000 workers since last year. At the same time, the Malaysia palm oil sectors face the risk of losing $2.89 billion or about RM11.83 in revenue per year when there are restrictions on foreign workers due to the spread of COVID-19. Director of the Science, Environment and Sustainability Division of the Malaysia Palm Oil Council MPOC, Dr. Ruslan Abdullah said, palm oil producer also needed manpower to enable them to continue productivity to achieve 20 million metric tons of the crude palm oil this year. According to him, the palm oil industry is heavily dependent on labor, especially for harvesting effort that require appropriate skills. In terms of shortage, this plantation requires skilled manpower for harvesting purpose and involve expertise to select the right food. If you simply harvest oil palm fruit without the appropriate skills, this will only cause losses. For the conclusion, Fcpo contracts are Sharia compliance transactions which have been recognized by the Sharia Advisory of Bursa Malaysia. The Sharia Advisory Council SAC in its 11th meeting on 26 November 1997 decided that crude palm oil futures contract were permissible as they were in line with Sharia principles. Gambling is dubbed rise on this instrument based on the ruling on market participants who need to place a certain amount of deposit as a margin payment before starting a transaction. This action is considered as if it were a prohibited bid. The SAC has decided that such trading activity are not included in gambling, as the increase and decrease in value is due to change in demand in the crude palm oil futures market and is a natural phenomena in the business world. Is it not appropriate to punish contract values that decline or increase as a result of change in demand in the crude palm oil futures market as gambling activity? This is because gambling activities depend solely on the lucky and are not related to demand and supply. Next, the market is two-way. Traders can generate profit when market conditions are up as well as market down, can earn profit on daily, weekly or monthly basis depending on the trader's strategy. Lastly, a very active market compared to other commodities in BMD. That's all the presentation from our group about the analysis of FCPO, and thank you.